Hey, sports fans, how are everybody doing today? This is the Scoreboard Guy here on the Missouri Sports Networks. Certainly glad you've tuned in. Powered by 92.3 KICK, home of the Royals of Springfield, Missouri. Presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Play It Again Sports, and Great Southern Bank. We're pleased to be joined now by the newly named head girls basketball coach at Hillcrest High School, and not unfamiliar to not only Hillcrest, but sports fans here in Southwest Missouri, but Coach Gerald. Coach Gerald, hey, thanks so much. I know it's a hectic time right now with everything that's going on, with trying to finish school. You've got state track going on. You've got all kinds of things, but I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's always a good time. So thanks for having me.
Coach, first off, I love the logo behind you. We talked a little bit about that off the air, but it's a pretty classy looking Hillcrest High School logo there right behind you.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely. I'm glad this one was an option. It's nice and shiny, and it's obviously Hillcrest, so I'm all about that.
Yeah. Coach, first off, I know there are a lot of people excited. I've got friends and family there at Hillcrest High School excited. Obviously, you've got some of the football players that you've had to visit with. What went into this decision, and when did you decide to make that change over, and some of the reasons there, and then how did you handle it with the football team?
Yeah, it was a tough decision. I have never not coached football, so that right there is that was my very first job. That's out of college. I hit up John Beckham, and that was my first job. And so to not ever coach football or to not do it for a year is it's nerve wracking. I think about some things, and then I also think about some other things, and I think it's going to be okay. But really, I got to talking to my wife and my family a little bit, and we really felt like it was the best decision. And it's realistically, it's now or it's not ever going to happen. And I've got a daughter who's entering into the 7th grade. And once she becomes a freshman at Hillcrest, I will have a daughter at Hillcrest for the next 12 years. And so it's an excitement. I don't know how excited they are necessarily about me being the head coach. But I'm really excited. And I think that was a big decision on why I made that choice.
And going from the grass field to the hardcore, you've been a basketball coach in the past. Just talk about your history and your background in basketball. Folks are really very familiar with your football history, but tell us a little bit about your basketball background.
Yeah, and so my first head job was the girls coach out at Miller, and got to be my own person and really come into basketball and find out what I like to do, what I do well. They allowed me to be myself, and I think that's what ultimately has me really excited about basketball and coming up is I can be myself, and you can see who I am as a coach and a person if you just come watch a game. Very excited, very enthusiastic, loud. You'll hear me as soon as I walk in the gym. You'll hear me. Coached at Miller for 3 years, ended up getting a district championship that last year, and then made the change over here to Hillcrest to take over after Jenny Hopkins. Lucky enough to get into that position, and did it for a couple of years. Really had fun, and it was exciting. I went back and looked at kind of some scores from back then and this and that, and we really competed in a lot of those games. Got a win at the pink and white. It was good. It was fun. But then ultimately the chance to become the head football coach here at Hillcrest where I graduated was just an awesome experience that I think I should take it up. I took advantage of, and I wanted to try it. And it was good. I love it. And definitely I don't regret doing it at all. It's tough going back to basketball a little bit because I do enjoy football so much. But I do think basketball is where I'm called to. I think basketball is what I'm going to enjoy doing for, there's no going back. So will I be an assistant at some point? Maybe on the football field for sure. But head girls basketball coach is what I think I'm called to do and what I'm going to enjoy doing for the next several years.
Did you reach out maybe to some of you mentioned Miller High School and, the standout at Miller, JJ Adamson, who is the now the girls coach at Willard, he's coached a lot, I think 3 or 4 of his daughters come through.
Yeah.
Did you reach out? I know obviously you visit with your wife and your family. Anyone else that you reached out to about this move?
And I did just actually talk to JJ a little bit just the other day. He's got a summer league, and I got to get my summer put together, and we got to talk a little bit, And then I did get a message from our volleyball coach, Coach Smith, who also had an opportunity to maybe coach at another school, but took advantage of what would be coaching her daughter here at Hillcrest. And she said she loves it. Now, like she talked to me about the first year for the other school that was an option, had a way better record than what she did at Hillcrest, but she doesn't regret that at all. I mean, that is not even why she does it, So she talked to me about making that decision, and that, time spent with your family, you can never get back, if you chose otherwise. So she was a big help, from an outside source to kind of do that stuff. And then just parents in the community, in a sense, just getting to know people and, those that are around, not necessarily have much of an influence on what you're going to do, but you being welcomed in the community as much as you are, it helps. It does help. So.
There's an excitement level there. And then obviously you mentioned Coach Hopkins, and those were probably tough shoes to fill. They're coming in after her runs, that she's had. But, there's an excitement there, I think, is still about within Hillcrest, on the women's side of basketball. What's it, have you been beating them up hallways, trying to get kids to come back out? What's the atmosphere been like there?
Hey, you got to follow our Instagram page, man. Hillcrest Lady Hornets basketball, But no, here recently, I did have a player meeting. We had about 16 at that meeting, where there was a number of girls that may have been gone at that time towards the end of the day. Some upperclassmen, I think, were just gone. And so, but I thought the number 16 was a good number inside the school. An excitement level. And then recently I've been to both middle schools, Pleasant View and Reed, and I had 10 at Pleasant View and 12 at Reed, to kind of say, okay, you got 20-ish kids in the middle school getting ready to come over here, which would be great. I thought at that level, if you got 10 to 12 on a freshman team, I think that's a good number, so to have 20 plus interested, good times ahead. And then from sophomore to senior, I think we're going to have about the same type of number. So looking forward to next season and what could be. I'm very excited about who's on the team and what we've got going. We're young still. We are still young, and I'm excited for the growth of what we can potentially do together. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to the future, man. And it's all excitement. Like I said, follow our Instagram page, man. We got pictures posted, and we're going,
Hey, I've seen it. My niece actually is there at Hillcrest, so I've seen a lot of that stuff coming out.
There we go.
Coach, I know you've got track. You got a lot of stuff on your plate still here as you prepare for the summer, and you're not even done with the school year at this point. But I appreciate you making your time available, and I love the logo. So you're gonna have to figure out how you did that and show the scoreboard guy.
Let's go. Yeah, definitely. Wait till we get the new Hornet going, man. It's awesome. I'm excited.
All right. Well, Coach Gerald, thank you so much for your time. Good luck. And we will certainly talk to you throughout the summer. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
All right.